The sky above Earth shimmered with strange lights. For months, the human cities had watched the alien warships hover near the atmosphere. Their sleek silver forms reflected the sun, making them seem almost like moving stars. Humanity had fought hard, sending fleets into space and defending their colonies on distant planets, but they were exhausted. Despite bravery and ingenuity, humans were facing the might of a far older and larger alien empire. In the halls of the United Earth Council, panic mixed with hope. Leaders from every nation gathered, their faces tense and pale. They had received a message from the alien empire's central command. They wanted to meet the human leaders in person. No attacks, no tricks, just a meeting. The message ended with one phrase repeated 3 times: "We are watching you." Dr. Anika Sharma, a young diplomat from India, paced the polished floor of the council chamber. Her mind raced, imagining what these aliens could be like. She had studied every available report about them. The aliens were taller than humans, their skin shimmering with a silver-blue hue. Their eyes reflected intelligence and danger in equal measure. They had conquered dozens of star systems, assimilating some civilizations and annihilating those who resisted. Anika, a voice called from behind her. It was General Marcus Hale, a veteran of Earth's space fleet. "The council is ready. You need to prepare yourself. This is going to change everything." Anika stopped pacing and turned. "I know, sir, I can't imagine what they want. They could demand anything." Marcus shook his head. "It's not about what they want, Doctor. It's about how we respond. Humanity's survival may depend on your courage." Courage. The word felt heavy. For the first time, Anika realized that this meeting wasn't just diplomacy. It was the first real test of humanity's worth in the galaxy. Outside the council chamber, the alien ship descended slowly, its massive hull casting a shadow over the city. People stopped on streets looking up with a mixture of awe and fear. For months, Earth had prepared for the worst, but now, as the ship's docking bay opened, reality hit. These beings were real, and they were here. The chamber doors opened, and a hush fell over the room. From the massive docking bay of the alien ship, a procession of beings entered. They moved with precision, their steps echoing lightly on the polished floor. At the front, wearing a crown that shimmered like liquid metal, was the Queen herself. She was taller than anyone expected, her presence commanding and elegant. Her eyes, a piercing silver, scanned the humans as if measuring them. The council members bowed instinctively, though some tried to hide their nervousness. Anika took a step forward. She knew her role: to speak, to negotiate, to understand. But she also knew that words might not be enough. The Queen stopped at the center of the chamber. She raised her hands, and the room fell completely silent. "Humans," she said, her voice clear and melodic, yet carrying authority that made the chamber vibrate. "Your species has shown persistence, courage, and intelligence. But your war has cost lives, and your people are weak compared to the vastness of my empire." A murmur spread through the council. Weak? Humans were resilient. They had survived worse than alien invasions. Yet when Anika looked into the Queen's eyes, she saw no anger, no cruelty, just observation. The Queen continued, "Your species is not ready for war against us. Your weapons are primitive. Your fleets are small. And yet—" She paused, scanning the room slowly. "There is something in you that intrigues me." Anika's heart pounded. The Queen's tone was unsettling. It was not just judgment, it was curiosity. Then the Queen stepped closer and her voice became louder, echoing in every corner. "I make a proposal. For peace, one human must marry me." The words fell like thunder. The council froze. Some gasped, others whispered to each other. Anika felt her knees weaken slightly. Marriage? For peace? Was this some kind of alien custom? Or a trap? General Hale's hand rested briefly on her shoulder. "Stay calm. Observe." The Queen's eyes landed on Annika. She could feel the weight of that gaze, heavy and precise, as if the Queen could see into her mind. Do not misunderstand, this is not a question. This is a command. One of your people will join me in union. Refusal is not an option if you wish to save your species. Annika's mind raced. Who could possibly accept this? Could she? Was it even legal, by Earth standards? And yet, as she looked around, she realized something. Humanity had fought so hard, and now the very survival of the planet depended on making a choice, even one that seemed impossible. The council members argued quietly, their voices tense. Some suggested rebellion. Others feared that refusal would provoke total annihilation. The debate seemed endless, but the Queen did not move. She only waited, her eyes steady. Finally, Annika spoke. Her voice was calm, but inside every nerve was alive with tension. Your Majesty, if we are to comply, there must be clarity. What does this union entail? How will it ensure peace? The Queen's lips curved into the smallest hint of a smile. Clarity is unnecessary for your species. The union itself is symbolic. It shows my empire that your people are willing to cooperate, to survive, and to value life over pride. Do this, and I guarantee peace. Refuse, and your cities will burn, your fleets will be destroyed, and your species may never recover. The room went silent again. Annika could feel the fear among the council, but also a strange sense of awe. No human had ever faced such a demand, and yet the Queen did not threaten with malice, only with truth. Annika's thoughts turned inward. She had always dreamed of space, of exploration, of contact with other civilizations, yet nothing in her studies had prepared her for this. She had imagined diplomacy, but not marriage as a tool of peace. Still, she understood instinctively what had to happen. Humanity could not afford to reject this offer. We must decide, Annika said softly yet firmly. We must choose one human to represent all of Earth. The council members nodded, though tension filled the air. Suggestions were made. Names were whispered. Annika realized that many expected her to volunteer. And then, a surprising thought struck her. Perhaps courage was not just about strategy or negotiation. Perhaps it was about stepping forward when no one else could. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the decision. I will go, she said, her voice steady. The chamber went still, as if time itself had paused. If my choice can save humanity, then I accept the Queen's command. Gasps filled the room. Some council members protested, some applauded. Quietly, Annika felt fear rise in her chest, but beneath it was determination. She would face this alien empire, not as a soldier, but as a representative of humanity's resilience and hope. The Queen's eyes widened slightly, as if approving of Annika's bravery. Interesting, she said softly, almost to herself. Then she spoke clearly to everyone in the chamber. So be it. This human will join me. Let the preparations begin. As the Queen turned and moved toward the ship's inner chambers, Annika followed. Every step she took felt like walking into a story no human had ever lived before. Outside, the city lights of Earth shone like tiny beacons of hope and fear. She wondered what awaited her aboard the alien ship, the customs, the rituals, the unknown life of an empire far older than humanity. Yet, despite the fear, she felt a spark of pride. Humanity had survived countless challenges on Earth. They had faced wars, famine, and disasters. And now, even in the face of an alien empire, they still had courage. Annika realized that this was more than a marriage. It was humanity's first, real moment in the galaxy. And she would show them that humans were strong, clever, and capable of surprising even the most powerful alien queens. As the docking bay doors closed behind her, the stars outside seemed brighter than ever. Humanity's story was just beginning, and Annika was ready to play her part. The interior of the alien ship was unlike anything Annika had ever imagined. Smooth, metallic walls shimmered with a faint light, that seemed to come from inside the material itself. The corridors curved and twisted in ways that made human senses strain to follow. Gravity shifted subtly as she walked, yet she adjusted quickly, aware that every step now belonged to this strange foreign world. At the center of the ship, the Queen's chamber awaited. It was vast, yet elegant. Towers of crystal rose toward the ceiling, reflecting soft light onto intricate designs on the floor. Alien symbols moved like liquid, changing patterns as Annika walked. At the far end, the Queen sat upon a throne that seemed carved from pure starlight, her posture perfect, her eyes fixed on the human who had accepted the impossible. "You have come willingly," the Queen said, her voice echoing slightly in the chamber. Few humans would do so. Most would cower. Most would resist. Yet you, she gestured toward Annika, you have courage, or foolishness, perhaps both. Annika met her gaze steadily. I have chosen this path to save my people. If that requires courage, then I will give it. If it is foolishness, then so be it. But humanity must live. The Queen's lips curved in the slightest smile. Interesting. I do not understand your species fully, yet I see something unique. You think of others before yourself. This is rare in the galaxy. Despite the words, Annika felt no comfort. She knew that peace still hung by a thin thread. The Queen's favor could vanish as quickly as it had appeared. She wondered what humans had to offer that made an alien monarch pause. You will remain here, the Queen continued, to learn our customs, to understand our ways, and in time, you will be united with me. Do not fear the title of spouse. It is not as you imagine, it is ceremonial, a bond between your species and mine, a symbol of trust and peace. Annika nodded. She had expected fear and perhaps some form of intimidation, but the Queen spoke with calm authority rather than threat. It was unsettling and strange. Days passed. Annika learned quickly that life on the ship was unlike life on Earth. Aliens walked. With a fluid grace, their conversations carried melodic undertones that seemed almost musical. Their technology far surpassed human invention. Rooms that appeared empty would change shape to meet the needs of the occupant. Food was not eaten as humans knew it. It was absorbed, like sunlight filtered through crystals. Every corner of the ship was alive with intelligence and careful design. At first, the cultural differences overwhelmed Annika. Even walking through the corridors required focus, as the ship responded to her presence. Doors opened automatically, stairways shifted positions, and sometimes, when she blinked, the lights changed color as if acknowledging her thoughts. She realized quickly that she was not just a visitor, she was a participant in a living system, far beyond human comprehension. The Queen watched her closely. Every movement, every reaction was observed. At times, Annika felt as though the alien ruler could see her very thoughts, her fears, her doubts. But she also noticed something else, a spark of curiosity, a fascination that humans had never seen in aliens. It was subtle, yet undeniable. You adjust well, the Queen said one day, her silver eyes studying Annika as she practiced simple rituals of the alien court. You are adaptable. Many of your kind would fail these lessons. You do not. Annika smiled faintly. I have no choice, I must learn quickly. My people's survival depends on it. The Queen nodded. Good. You understand the stakes. Few would. Weeks passed, and Annika began to form a routine. She attended ceremonial lessons, studied alien history, and learned their language more fully. She discovered that the alien empire was vast, stretching across hundreds of systems, yet not all were loyal. Some factions desired war and conquest, while others sought peace and prosperity. The Queen's command of these factions was absolute, yet she relied on humans to demonstrate a truth her empire often ignored. Sometimes, strength was found in compassion, in patience, in understanding a smaller, weaker species. Despite the lessons, not all aliens were pleased by her presence. A group of young nobles whispered among themselves, their expressions cold. She is human, one hissed, a primitive creature trying to sit among us. Annika overheard a fragment. Her blood ran cold, but she reminded herself. This was expected. Fear and disdain were natural reactions to her species' audacity. They had to be shown that humans were more than they believed. The Queen, noticing her discomfort, intervened. You see, human, some will oppose you simply because you exist. But do not let that trouble you. Opposition is expected when a small species dares to reach beyond its limits. Annika straightened. I will not falter. The Queen's silver eyes studied her carefully. We shall see. One evening, the Queen summoned Annika to the highest observation deck. The entire galaxy seemed to stretch before them, stars scattered like diamonds across black velvet. The view was breathtaking. Annika felt small, yet alive, realizing how vast the universe truly was. Your species has potential, the Queen said softly. Many humans cling to Earth afraid to reach further, yet you dared to step forward, to offer yourself for the sake of many. That is a trait I admire. Annika felt a flicker of warmth, though she remained wary. Thank you, Your Majesty. I only act for my people. Of course, the Queen said, her gaze returning to the stars. And yet, there is more to you than duty. I feel it. Curiosity, courage, resilience. Qualities my empire rarely respects. Perhaps I misjudged your species before. The words filled Annika with a strange mix of hope and unease. She had expected hostility, manipulation, perhaps even cruelty. Instead, the Queen seemed genuinely interested in understanding humans. Could this strange bond grow into something more than ceremony? She did not dare to hope. Then, tension erupted. Alarms blared, vibrating through the ship's corridors. Red lights flashed. Annika's heart raced. The Queen rose instantly, her posture sharp and commanding. Intruders, she said. They test our patience. Annika followed her instinctively, moving quickly alongside the Queen's personal guards. In the central chamber, a group of alien rebels, factions opposed to peace, had boarded, armed and determined. Their intent was clear: challenge the Queen, perhaps even kill the human representative. Stay behind me, the Queen ordered calmly, though her eyes burned with fury. Annika obeyed, clutching a small device given to her by the Queen's guards. She was not trained for battle, yet she remembered every lesson in strategy, every word of caution. Humans may be small and unarmed, but they were clever and unpredictable. That had always been their strength. The intruders advanced, their voices sharp and demanding. The Queen raised her hand, and energy surged through the floor, creating a barrier that held the attackers at bay. You will not pass, she commanded. Annika realized then that her presence mattered not only symbolically, but also practically. She saw one attacker break toward her side. Acting on instinct, she activated the device, which emitted a bright pulse, stunning the intruder long enough for the guards to capture him. The skirmish ended quickly. The intruders were subdued, and the Queen turned to Annika. You acted wisely, she said, her tone almost approving. Few humans would have dared, most would have frozen. You surprise me. Annika swallowed, feeling the weight of the moment. Her courage had been tested, and she had passed. Yet she knew this was only the beginning. That night, in the quiet of the chamber, the Queen spoke to her privately. You are no ordinary human, she said. Your people will see what you have done, and perhaps they will finally understand that humans can rise above expectation. You are more than a symbol of submission. You are proof that even the smallest species can shape the fate of the galaxy. Annika's heart raced. She had not expected such praise from one so powerful. She realized that the Queen was beginning to see humans not as weak but as worthy of respect. As the ship sailed silently among the stars, Annika felt a mix of fear and purpose. She was far from Earth, engaged in a strange and dangerous alliance, yet she was determined to show her people's strength. Humanity had survived countless trials on their home planet, and now, even in the presence of a galactic empire, they would prove their courage, ingenuity, and heart. The journey had only just begun. Life aboard the alien ship had become routine, yet nothing about it was ordinary. Annika had adapted to the strange rhythms of the alien empire, learned their language, and understood many of their customs. Still, she remained aware that her presence was both a privilege and a danger. The Queen had accepted her willingly, but not all members of the alien court were pleased. Whispers followed her through the corridors, eyes watched her every step, and unseen schemes moved in shadows. One morning, as Annika practiced the ceremonial greetings of the court, a young alien noble approached. His skin shimmered darker than the Queen's, and his expression carried arrogance. "You are human," he said, voice sharp, "and yet you walk among us as if you belong. Do you truly think you deserve this?" Annika held her posture steady. "I do not claim to deserve it, I only act for my people. My presence is meant to preserve peace." The noble sneered. "Peace is weakness. Your species is weak. I wonder if your courage will survive the coming days." Annika ignored him, but her mind noted his words. The Queen had warned her that opposition would rise, and now she saw its first clear signs. She would have to prove herself not just to the Queen but to the entire empire. Later that day, the Queen summoned her to the strategy chamber, a vast room with holographic maps of dozens of star systems. Leaders of the empire's factions were present, and all eyes turned to the human representative as she entered. "Annika," the Queen began, "the Council has been restless. Some doubt that your species can truly be trusted. Today, you will face your first test." Annika's pulse quickened. She had expected challenges, but this was different. "What must I do?" "You will help negotiate a border dispute between two of our colonies," the Queen explained. "They have been on the verge of war. If you succeed, it will show the Council that humans are capable of reason and diplomacy. If you fail—" The Queen's gaze hardened slightly, though her words were polite. "You may strengthen those who oppose peace." The room fell silent. Humans were small in numbers and influence, yet the Queen trusted one human to shape the outcome of an interstellar conflict. Annika studied the holographic maps. She could see the two colonies, their resources, and their military positions. Both sides had grievances that had festered for decades. To solve this peacefully would require ingenuity, patience, and courage. The negotiations began. Annika spoke first, addressing both alien factions in the Emperor's language, which she had learned. Quickly, "You fight for what you believe is just," she said, "but war will only destroy what you hold dear. There is another way. Listen to each other, and you may find a solution together." The alien leaders stared at her, some in disbelief, some with contempt. They were not used to being told by someone from a smaller, weaker species what to do. Yet Annika persisted. She proposed compromises combining resources, trade agreements, and shared defense pacts. Slowly, the factions began to listen. Hours passed. Tension filled the chamber. At one point, a minor explosion in the simulation caused one of the alien leaders to rise in anger, shouting at the human. Annika remained calm, speaking clearly without fear. She reminded them of the consequences of continued conflict and appealed to their sense of reason and honor. By the end of the day, a tentative agreement was reached. The factions would adhere to a treaty proposed by Annika, and peace, however fragile, was restored. The Queen's eyes glimmered with approval. "You acted with wisdom," she said privately afterward. "You have shown the Council that humans can influence events even when small in stature. You have earned respect." Annika felt relief, but it was short-lived. Not everyone was impressed. Later that night, as she walked through a quiet corridor, she overheard whispers from a group of nobles. "The human must be removed," one hissed. "She weakens the Queen's power. She cannot remain." Annika's stomach tightened. Opposition was growing, and she realized that diplomacy alone would not protect her. She would need allies, and fast. The next day, the Queen summoned her to the training chambers. Unlike ceremonial lessons, this training focused on survival and defense. Annika learned to use alien technology, adapt to sudden changes in gravity, and understand energy-based defenses. Though humans lacked the physical strength of aliens, Annika's mind proved her greatest weapon. She learned to predict movements, anticipate attacks, and use strategy to overcome raw power. "You are learning quickly," the Queen observed. "Your species may be small, but it is clever. That is what makes you dangerous." Annika smiled, faintly. Cleverness can save lives. Indeed it had. Weeks later, a more serious threat emerged. A faction of aliens, opposed to peace with humanity, attempted a covert coup. They infiltrated the ship, moving silently through corridors and aiming to capture both Annika and the Queen. Annika sensed something was wrong. Using her knowledge of the ship's layout and her training in defense tactics, she alerted the Queen's guards. Together, they set a trap for the intruders. When the attackers emerged, expecting to find the human isolated, they instead faced a coordinated response. Annika took the lead, directing the guards to block exits and channel the intruders into containment zones. Though she lacked physical strength, her planning and timing allowed the team to neutralize the threat quickly. Afterward, the Queen approached her, a rare smile touching her lips. "You acted well. Many humans would have panicked or hidden. You used your mind and courage. That is what I value." Annika realized that the Queen's words were more than praise. They were acknowledgement. Humanity, through her actions, had proven itself worthy of consideration and respect. Yet the struggle was far from over. In the days that followed, Annika uncovered more about the factions opposed to peace. Some were plotting far-reaching schemes to destabilize the Empire, while others sought to assassinate the Queen. Annika's presence had become a focal point for these plots. Some feared her influence, some despised the symbol of human resilience she represented. Despite the danger, Annika continued her lessons, her duties, and her interactions with the Queen. She discovered that the Queen's fascination with humans was genuine. The ruler admired qualities that aliens often overlooked: empathy, perseverance, and the ability to adapt under pressure. These traits, small in a single human, could grow to shape civilizations. One evening, as they observed a distant planet through the observation deck, the Queen spoke softly. "You have changed my perspective. I thought humans were limited, fragile, and predictable. Yet you show creativity, bravery, and wisdom. I did not expect this. Your species may be small, but it carries something powerful within." Annika felt a surge of pride, though she kept her expression calm. "Humans survive because we adapt, we learn, and we care for one another. That is what makes us strong." The Queen nodded slowly. "Yes, that is what I see in you. And perhaps one day, all of humanity may show it to the galaxy." But even as hope grew, the shadow of opposition loomed. Annika knew that she could not rely solely on courage or intellect. She needed alliances, within the alien empire and among her own people, once they understood her actions. The next morning, a young alien aide approached her. "There are whispers," he said cautiously. "Some nobles plan to challenge your presence at the upcoming council meeting. They question the Queen's judgment and your worth." Annika nodded. "Then we must prepare. I will not falter. If humanity is to survive, we must show that courage, wisdom, and cooperation matter more than fear and prejudice." As the aide left, Annika turned her gaze toward the stars. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown dangers and wonders, yet she felt a growing certainty: humans could meet any challenge. Perhaps small, weak, or unprepared by alien standards, humans possessed something the universe had not seen enough of: heart. The coming council meeting would test her skills, her courage, and humanity's place in the galaxy. The rebels, the skeptics, and the conspirators would try to undermine peace. But Annika would stand, not just as a symbol, but as proof that humans, even alone among the stars, could rise to meet the impossible. And so, with determination in her heart, she prepared for the hidden struggle ahead. The council chamber of the alien empire buzzed with tension. Alien leaders from countless star systems filled the room, their eyes glinting with suspicion and ambition. Whispers flowed like currents through the air, some questioning the Queen's decision, others daring to challenge humanity's role in the Empire. Annika entered with steady steps, her heart pounding but her mind sharp. She understood that today's meeting would not only test her courage but humanity's very place in the galaxy. The Queen sat at the center, radiating authority. Her silver eyes scanned the chamber, taking in each leader, each gaze, each subtle expression. When she spoke, the room fell silent. "We gathered to discuss the future of this empire," she began, "and to consider the symbol of peace I have chosen. One human who stands among us not as a servant but as a partner in diplomacy and wisdom." Murmurs spread. Some leaders scoffed, others fumed. One tall, armored alien rose, his voice sharp. "Your Majesty, we cannot accept a human as a symbol of authority. They are weak, untested, and unworthy." The Queen's eyes narrowed. "You speak without understanding. This human has proven herself not with weapons or strength, but with intellect, courage, and unwavering resolve. She has negotiated peace between colonies, thwarted conspiracies, and survived dangers that would have destroyed many of you." Annika felt a surge of pride. She had trained, studied, and acted with care, and now the Queen's words echoed throughout the chamber. But she also felt the weight of responsibility. Every eye was on her. Every doubt, every whisper could sway the outcome. She had to remain composed. The alien leader sneered. "We cannot accept symbolism over power. If we follow your example, Your Majesty, the Empire will weaken." The Queen rose slowly, her presence filling the chamber. "Power without wisdom is fragile. Courage without judgment is reckless. Humanity, through this human, has demonstrated that strength comes in many forms. I am not weak. I am wise. And today you will learn what it means to respect a species that you once underestimated." She turned to Annika. "Step forward." Annika advanced into the center of the chamber, her steps deliberate and steady. The eyes of the entire council followed her, some filled with scorn, others with curiosity. She raised her head and spoke, clearly, her voice carrying across the room. "I am human. I am not the strongest, nor the fastest, nor the most powerful among you, but I have courage. I have patience. I have learned to see beyond fear, beyond pride, and beyond war. I act not for myself, but for my people, and I believe that cooperation, understanding, and respect can shape a future stronger than any weapon." Hush fell over the chamber. Even those who had opposed her before seemed taken aback by the clarity and conviction of her words. Annika realized then that courage alone was not enough. Speaking with purpose, with honesty, could sway even the hardest of hearts. Before the council could respond, a sudden explosion shook the chamber. Alarms blared and red lights flashed. Panic erupted as a group of conspirators opposed to peace stormed the hall. They aimed to capture the Queen and eliminate the human representative, hoping to force a return to war. Annika's training kicked, and she quickly assessed the layout of the chamber and noticed weak points in the attackers' formation. Using her voice and gestures, she coordinated with the Queen's elite guards, directing them to contain the intruders. Though humans lacked the alien strength, strategy became her weapon. She saw one attacker rushing toward the Queen. Without hesitation, she leapt to block him, using a small energy pulse device she had trained with. The attacker staggered, giving the Queen's guards enough time to immobilize him. Annika moved quickly, guiding others away from danger, her mind sharp despite the chaos around her. The battle ended swiftly. The conspirators were captured and the chamber returned to tense silence. The Queen approached Annika, her eyes bright with approval. "You acted decisively," she said. "Many would have frozen. You have proven that courage, strategy, and quick thinking can shape the course of events. Today you saved more than a life. You saved the peace we have fought to achieve." Annika felt her chest tighten. Pride, relief, and exhaustion battled within her. She had faced danger head-on and emerged not only unbroken but victorious. Yet she knew this was only one test. The council still had doubts, and the shadow of opposition remained. The Queen raised her hand, silencing the room. Let this day be remembered. A human has shown us that value is not measured by strength alone, but by courage, wisdom, and loyalty. Any who doubt the importance of this alliance will see their errors reflected in history. A wave of murmurs ran through the chamber. Some leaders bowed, acknowledging the Queen's authority and the human's role. Others remained silent, their pride wounded but restrained. Annika understood that respect was earned slowly, and that persistence mattered as much as victory. Later, in the quiet of the observation deck, Annika and the Queen looked out at the stars. The galaxy stretched infinitely, full of wonders and dangers alike. Annika felt a strange bond growing between herself and the Queen, one of trust and mutual respect. You have changed my perspective, the Queen said softly. I thought humans were limited, fragile, and unpredictable. Yet you have proven adaptability, courage, and insight. Perhaps the galaxy underestimated your species. Annika shook her head. We are not perfect. We make mistakes, but we learn. We survive. We fight for one another, even when the odds are against us. That is our strength. The Queen nodded. Yes. And it is why I chose you, not for submission, but because you embody what I value: resilience, thoughtfulness, and courage. Others may challenge us, oppose us, and plot against this peace, but you have shown that humans can stand alongside us, not as subjects, but as equals in spirit. Annika felt warmth at the Queen's words, but she knew the struggle was far from over. Even within the Empire, factions continued to plot. Not everyone would accept this alliance willingly, and some would test her resolve again. But for the first time, she realized something important. Humans were not powerless. They could influence events, shape destinies, and earn respect through intelligence, courage, and moral strength. The next day, the Council resumed its proceedings. Alien leaders who had opposed her earlier remained, but their tone had shifted. They questioned less, listened more, and observed carefully. Annika addressed them with clarity, speaking not only as a human, but as a representative of a species capable of growth, adaptation, and honor. She reminded them of the colonies she had helped mediate, the conspiracies she had uncovered, and the courage she had demonstrated in moments of crisis. Slowly, the room began to change. Skepticism gave way to acknowledgement. Even those who had doubted humanity's worth could not ignore the results. By the end of the day, the Council reached a historic decision. Humanity would be formally recognized as a valued partner in the Empire. The Queen's command was no longer seen as a symbolic marriage alone, but as a recognition of humanity's potential to contribute to the greater galaxy. As the chamber emptied, the Queen approached Annika privately. You have done more than I expected, she said, her tone soft yet resolute. You have not only survived, but thrived. You have proven that humans, though small in number, possess qualities that the galaxy cannot ignore. Today you earned respect for your species. Annika felt a swell of pride. Thank you, Your Majesty. I only hope I can continue to honor humanity and your trust. The Queen studied her closely. You already have. But remember, challenges will not end here. The galaxy is vast, and there are always those who wish to see power without reason. You must remain vigilant, courageous, and wise. Only then will this alliance, and your people, truly endure. Annika nodded, understanding the gravity of her words. She had faced conspiracies, danger, and doubt, yet she had emerged stronger. Humanity had shown that even a single individual could influence the course of events, not through force, but through courage, wisdom, and heart. As she gazed out at the stars once more, Annika realized that the journey was far from over. The galaxy would continue to challenge humanity, testing their resolve, their ingenuity, and their spirit. But now she knew something crucial. Humans were not just survivors, they were capable of greatness. The Queen's choice had revealed a truth. Even among the most advanced civilizations, a small species could shine brightly, illuminating a path of hope, courage, and honor. And as Annika prepared for the days ahead, she understood that she would continue to stand as a symbol, not of submission, but of humanity's remarkable potential. The stars outside stretched endlessly, full of possibilities, and Annika felt ready to meet them all. Humanity's story among the stars had only just begun. The galaxy held its breath. Across countless star systems, leaders and citizens alike watched as the final council convened aboard the Queen's ship. The alien factions who had opposed peace were present, their expressions tense and wary. The weight of history pressed down on every attendee. Humanity's future, the fate of entire civilizations, and the stability of the Empire hung in the balance. Annika stepped forward with steady resolve. Her training, her experiences, and her courage had led to this moment. Though humans were still a small species in the eyes of the galaxy, she now carried the respect of the Queen, the hope of her people, and the potential to show the universe what humans were capable of. The Queen rose to speak. Her silver eyes scanned the assembly, shining with authority. "We have seen great courage, wisdom, and determination in the past months," she said. "And one individual, a human, has shown qualities that many of us did not expect. She has proven that strength comes not only from power but from heart, courage, and intelligence. Today we will decide the future, not through force, but through unity." Murmurs spread across the chamber. Some skeptical factions tried to protest, but the Queen's presence silenced them. She gestured to Annika. "Step forward, human representative." Annika obeyed, her posture calm, her mind focused. The council's eyes were upon her, measuring her worth. She took a deep breath and addressed the assembly. "My species is small, and we are young among the stars," she began. "Yet we have survived and thrived because we learn, we adapt, and we care for one another. Today I stand not as a subject, not as a servant, but as a representative of humanity's courage and potential. We seek peace, not for submission, but because we believe the galaxy is stronger when we work together." The chamber remained silent. Even the harshest critics were listening. Annika continued, her voice steady. "We may be few, but we are capable. We have shown that compassion, reason, and bravery can overcome fear and conflict. And if you allow humanity to join you as partners, not subjects, we can build a future together, one that honors life, cooperation, and hope." The Queen nodded, her gaze approving. "You speak wisely, human, and your actions have proven your words true." Suddenly, a tension filled the room. A group of conspirators, hidden until now, attempted to disrupt the meeting. Their plan was clear: attack the Queen, eliminate the human, and plunge the galaxy back into chaos. Alarms blared, echoing through the massive chamber. Annika reacted, instinctively. Using the knowledge of the ship's layout she had gained, she directed guards and council members to contain the intruders. Her quick thinking allowed the guards to neutralize the threat without bloodshed. Though humans were physically weaker than aliens, Annika's leadership proved decisive. The Queen's voice rang across the chamber. "Peace is not maintained by force alone. It requires wisdom, courage, and unity. Observe this human. She embodies these traits. If a small species can act with such skill and bravery, imagine what we can achieve together." One by one, the alien factions nodded, some reluctantly, some with growing admiration. The skeptics had seen the proof. Humans were capable of shaping events not through brute strength but through courage, strategy, and integrity. After the council settled, the Queen spoke privately with Annika. "You have exceeded every expectation," she said. "Not only have you survived challenges and conspiracies, but you have also inspired change. The Empire now sees humanity as a partner, not a primitive species." Annika felt a swell of pride. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I only hope I can continue to honor humanity and your trust. You already have." the Queen replied. And soon, you will help shape a new era for your species, one of opportunity, respect, and alliance. Today, humanity's story among the stars truly begins. The final ceremony of the council commenced. The Queen extended her hand to Annika in the traditional gesture of union. The gesture was symbolic, representing not only the marriage that had started as a command, but also humanity's acceptance into the galaxy's greater affairs. Annika stepped forward, meeting the Queen's gaze. There was no fear now, only mutual respect. I accept this responsibility, she said. Not as a subject, but as a representative of my people. We will work together to maintain peace and build understanding. The assembly observed in awe. A human, small and young compared to the galaxy's greatest species, had stood firm in diplomacy, courage, and wisdom. The Queen's decision was now more than ceremonial. It was recognition that humanity had earned its place among the stars. News of the decision traveled quickly. Across Earth, citizens watched in amazement as reports confirmed that humanity had been recognized as a valued partner in the alien empire. People celebrated not only for survival, but for respect. The galaxy had seen that humans were capable of courage, ingenuity, and leadership. Back on the ship, Annika and the Queen worked together to establish the first interstellar agreements involving humanity. Trade routes were negotiated, scientific collaborations planned, and mutual defense treaties formed. Annika learned that influence was not about force, but about ideas, respect, and cooperation. Yet even as they worked, Annika knew the challenges were not over. The galaxy was vast, and threats could arise at any moment. But humanity had proven its value, and now they had allies, resources, and a voice. The Queen's trust in humans signaled that their small species could achieve great things. One evening, as they observed distant nebulae from the observation deck, the Queen spoke softly. You have changed the course of history, not by weapons but by courage, thought, and heart. Your species may be small, but it is remarkable. Annika smiled. We survive because we care. We adapt and we strive to understand. That is what makes us strong. The Queen nodded. And that strength will guide your people for generations. Together we can build a galaxy where cooperation and respect prevail. As the stars stretched endlessly before them, Annika realized the truth of the Queen's words. Humanity had been tested, challenged, and underestimated. Yet through courage, wisdom, and heart, they had proven their worth. What had started as a forced command, a marriage to save a species, had become a symbol of unity, respect, and the promise of a brighter future. The journey ahead was uncertain, but Annika felt ready. She would continue to represent humanity, to act with courage and intelligence, and to ensure that her species earned its place in the galaxy. The Queen's choice had sealed more than peace. It had revealed the remarkable potential of humans, and, as the alien ship sailed silently among the stars, carrying both Queen and human forward, a new era began. Humanity was no longer merely a small species on a distant planet. They were a people capable of shaping the galaxy, proving that heart, courage, and wisdom could stand alongside power and tradition. The stars outside seemed brighter than ever, reflecting the hope, courage, and unity that Annika had helped create. Humanity's story among the stars was just beginning, and this time, they would be ready for whatever challenges the universe had in store.